Let's now bring in Cedric Alexander. He's the former police chief of Rochester, New York, also the former public safety director of DeKalb County, Georgia, and officially, as of this week, an MSNBC law enforcement analyst. How lucky are we to have you officially joining our family, Cedric, at a time like this to provide your analysis. So thank you so much. First, I want to start with some of what we were just hearing there from Yasmin. And one of the people that she spoke with actually said this is a small step towards real change. And I'm wondering, as a former police chief, what real effective change can look like. That means that police officers are doing the job that they are supposed to be doing, protecting the community while also keeping themselves safe. What can change that will really work?
Well, change is, you know, the country is elated. A vast majority of the country is related that this trial is over. There's been a conviction, but there's still a lot of work left to be done in policing. And we still are going to have to step back. We're going to have to ask ourselves, what is it that we want police to do? How do we begin to think about public safety? And I really think we really have to address that question itself. This goes beyond just reform. This goes just beyond reimagining policing. But we have to ask this very essential question. What does public safety look like? And when you think about inadequate housing, lack of jobs, mental health, homelessness, et cetera, those are public safety issues as well, along with law enforcement. And what end up happening, law enforcement, policing itself, who oftentimes are not trained to be everything to everybody, will intersect with individuals in our communities, sometimes, many times, oftentimes, these communities that are disparate, that are distressed, and the outcome sometimes is not what we would like for it to be. I think we have to still look back, think back on what it is that we got to do going forward. The conviction yesterday certainly took a lot of pressure off this country and a lot of people in this country. But the most important thing is what we're going to do today. What are we going to do tomorrow? How do we train and recruit and supervise and hold police departments accountable? And how really does transparency really work? Because these have to be more than just buzzwords. They have to be words that really have some substance to them. So we still got a lot of work to do around American policing, because a lot of trust has been misplaced, and policing has lost some of its legitimacy.
And Cedric, you mentioned what can we do today? What can we do tomorrow? And I wonder, in this period where systemic change may take some time, but when this verdict sends a shockwave, could seeing a former officer convicted of murder have an impact on other officers as individuals? And as we wait for more systemic change, potentially change the way that these individuals police? Well,
you know, here you have to remember, policing is a very powerful culture, a culture in and of itself. You can write all policies that you want to write, but police culture eats policies for breakfast, literally. So we got to change the culture of policing in this country. And it starts with the leadership. It starts with elected officials who hire chiefs. It starts with chiefs who have the talent and the resource, the training and the education to understand that you have to change culture inside organizations to make it more amenable to the community in which it serves. But in the meantime, yes, that may sound long-term, but we got to begin that process. In the short term, hopefully what will come out of this trial from yesterday is that when you saw Minneapolis police chief, a police commander, a police head of homicide division testify against a fellow officer, we have to say that that truly is notable. And it's important. They stepped forward. They talked about what was wrong. Here's what is not our philosophy. Here's the training we don't do. But that also has to resonate with the rank and file, because there are going to be cases out there that are not going to be as egregious as what we saw on May 25th last year. But there are going to be cases that are going to be a lot tougher to call. But it's going to take police officers having the courage who are on those scenes to be able to testify and say, here's what went right, and here's what I know went wrong. So hopefully the role modeling of officers testifying against one of their own to the public is significant. But here again, that was a highly publicized case. That was an easy one to call. But the more tougher ones that we're confronted with every day, I certainly hope that it role models to many of our police departments, all our police officers out there, that it's more important to do the right thing for the benefit of the larger agency than it is for one individual. And we got a lot of good police officers out there today that are getting up this morning or to go to work tonight that's going to do a great job in this country and do a great job. But we all have to be held to a higher standard in this moment right now.
Cedric, many people were pointing out yesterday on Twitter that Minneapolis police, their initial statement last May was that Floyd died after a medical incident during a police interaction. They offered few details about what actually happened. That really didn't come to light until we saw Darnella Frazier's video. So after the verdict, the Minneapolis police chief is calling for healing and peace. But this really stresses the importance of transparency moving forward, doesn't it?
Absolutely, it does. And whatever police put on paper becomes their statement. And it's very important that whatever we write, we do it objectively. And if we can't do it objectively, we certainly have to allow outside entities to come in that will be able to show some balance and some fairness in the process. Because how they write up that initial report, if the public, if anyone get the sense that it's not being accurate or it appears to be a cover-up, that does not work to the legitimacy of a department overall. Here again, it is more important to protect the integrity of the entire agency than for it to fall for one or two bad individuals who choose to do things their own way. That can no longer be something that we do, and we can no longer, good officers, great police officers, have to speak up and they have to say something and provide an environment and a culture that is not going to allow those who want to go wayward to even think about it. It is a tough job. The public knows it's a tough job. We need to be there to support our police officers, but we also have to expect that they're going to act constitutionally with everyone equally under the law.
Cedric Alexander, we wanted to hear from you this morning, and we appreciate you taking the time to weigh in and offer your perspective on all this.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.